Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Christy Kidgerina. It's Wednesday, October 25. In Squiz Kids Today, Bushfire season has begun. England's Halloween hillside, Afghanistan's historic cricket win, and an escalator to the sky. That's what's making news, kid style.
The lowdown.
While summer's not quite here yet, bushfire season has well and truly commenced across this wide brown land. On Sunday, the Bridgestone World Solar Challenge, a 3,020-kilometre race from Darwin in the Northern Territory to Adelaide in South Australia, got underway. The race, which is contested by teams from all across the globe who build and drive their own solar-powered vehicles, ran into trouble on day 2 when smoke haze and ash from 2 bushfires burning north of Alice Springs caused problems for the drivers. The smoke blocked out sunlight needed to power the vehicles, causing teams to rely heavily on their backup batteries. Safety officials are on hand to steer teams clear of the fires, and all going to plan, the vehicles will start to arrive in Adelaide this afternoon. Meanwhile, northern New South Wales and southwest Queensland have been experiencing their own fires this week, with consecutive, meaning one after the other, days above 30 degrees, and strong wind gusts fanning the flames. Firefighters have been hard at work to keep the blazes under control. A southerly wind change is forecast for this afternoon, and it's hoped that it will bring with it enough rain to dampen those fires. Here's hoping.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Southampton in the United Kingdom, at Sunnyfield Farm to be precise. Not that sort of farm, where pumpkin farmers have created the world's largest cucurbita mosaic. Cucurbita is a word that describes the family of vegetables that includes pumpkin, squash, and zucchini. The Nelson family, who own the farm, used more than 10,000 pumpkins and squash to create the mega mosaic. And there's a time-lapse video in your episode notes. The mosaic is a tribute to the film The Nightmare Before Christmas, which celebrates its 30th anniversary this year. The Nelsons are obviously fans because they spent 10 whole hours perfectly placing the pumpkins. Oh my God. You know, gourd as in pumpkin. I thought it was funny. And there goes the Classroom Companion Clarion. Today's Classroom Companion worksheets ask students to use time connectives to get this story straight. If you haven't already, you can sign up for free at squizkids.com.au. The worksheets are differentiated for grades 2 to grade 6 and beyond. So sign up and start having more fun with literacy today.
Sport time.
Did you know that in astronomy, a constellation is a group of stars that's associated with a mythical figure? Well, I think that's exactly the right word for our Aussie netballing legends. That group of stars have taken out the 4-game Constellation Cup series against New Zealand's Silver Ferns. After the Aussies won the first 2 games, the Silver Ferns fought back to take out the final 2 matches. But with the overall point score reading 208 to 195 to the Aussie Diamonds, the women will retain the cup for another year. But don't worry, the netball action is not over. The Aussie team have flown straight to Cairns in North Queensland and will be playing South Africa this evening. Keep sparkling, Diamonds. And across to India, the underdogs continue to take down the favourites in cricket's One-Day International World Cup. This time there was dancing in the outfield as Afghanistan chased down Pakistan's 282 runs with 1 over and 8 wickets still in hand. For non-cricketing people, that just means it was a very convincing win.
Believe it or not.
Do you fancy spinning around on a mountaintop Sound of Music style? And if you haven't seen that movie, please pause the podcast right now and come back in 3 hours when you're done. Oh, that's better. So, if you like the view from mountaintops but don't fancy the climb, the Chinese province of Zhejiang has you covered, having recently built a mountain escalator. Yup, you heard correctly, a 350-meter escalator, which cuts down climbing time from 50 minutes to just 10. Some people are upset that the joys and physical benefits of the climb may be lost, but my dodgy knees and I are totally on board. For just 30 Chinese yuan, or about $6.50 Australian, I think it's a bargain. Talk about how do you solve a problem. Hey, parents and teachers, this is a message for you. Are you ready to take a walk through history and discover the big education moments that have shaped Australia? Buckle up, because our friends at Squiz Today released their first episode of Season 2 of How Far We've Come, a 6-part podcast series made with the help of NGS Super. You'll be taken on a wild ride through the challenges and triumphs of Australia when it comes to education, the big issues today, and what the future may hold. The first episode is on the birth of compulsory and free education in Australia. You can check it out in the Squiz Today feed.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Between which 2 capital cities is the World Solar Challenge taking place? That's right, they're travelling between Darwin and Adelaide. Question number 2. What movie were pumpkin farmers paying tribute to by creating a huge pumpkin-y mega mosaic? Well done if you said The Nightmare Before Christmas. Question number 3. What was the final number of points scored by the Australian and New Zealand women in the Netball Constellation Cup series? Oh, you were listening really well if you said 208 to 195.
Shout outs.
It's October 25, 100th birthday of one of Australia's favourite foods, and the one we delight in having all overseas visitors try, Vegemite. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Miller from Baronia, Quinn and Geordie from Echuca, Bridget from Tarrington, Samuel from Kensington, Mikhail from Tempe, Tosh and Sam from Goolgong, Elaine from Abbotsford, Jago from Bellevue Hill, Ada from Shenton Park, Angeline from Broadbeach Waters, Thurston from Perth, Grace from Glenbrook, and Prim listening all the way over there in Bangkok, Thailand. And belated shout-outs go to Matt from Manly Vale, Alyssa from Mitcham, and Danielle from Melbourne. Classroom shout-outs today go to Class F3 and Mrs. Lanello at Hammond Park Primary School in Perth, Class 4C and Ms. Karen at Bialik College in Hawthorn, and all the teachers and students at Kambala School for Girls in Sydney. Year 6 with Miss Jensen at St Aloysius Primary School in Cronulla, Class 5B with Miss Russo at St Brendan's Catholic School in Bankstown, Jim Boomba class with Miss Penfold at Farnborough Road Public School in Unanderra, Year 5 and 6 with Miss Mitchell at St John's Primary School in Lambton, and Class 5X with Mrs Foda Kapulus at Claremont Meadows Public School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you want a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. And if you've just finished eating breakfast or dinner and want to distract mum or dad from getting you to wash up, ask them to hop into their podcasting app and give us a big 5 stars and a glowing review. It'll distract them and it'll make our day. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.